This is the Fly Himes Podcast.
Isang makulay na araw ulit sa lahat ng ating mga panoorin dyan. And welcome to the Kulay Himes Podcast. My name is Himes, once again, H-A-Y-M-Z. And welcome to another episode. Ito yung tatawagin nating What Are the Odds? Okay, dahil special ang ating guest ngayon. Isa siyang former batchmate ko sa Lasal. All the way from Binondo, Lawrence Ang, everybody, palakpakan natin. Oy, wala akong background music eh. So
okay lang.
Alright, so sa mga siguro diyan, yung mga nakikinig sa atin dati pa lang, nag-guest na to si Lawrence sa atin nung nagko-color commentate pa tayo sa playoffs. Hopefully mabalik natin yan one of these days. Pero yon, hindi na to stranger. Madalas ko rin to nakakausap sa basketball. And ang topic natin ngayong gabi, ang favorite team niya. Tulad nung pinost ko nga sa Facebook earlier today, pinaunlakan tayo ni Lo. Gusto niyang i-discuss ang kanyang favorite team. Or maybe yung favorite player niya. Favorite player niya. Yan. Pwede. Gawin natin klaro. Okay. And we're talking about si Chris Paul, si CP3. Yan. Sakto, naka-jersey ako. Pero Dwight Howard kasi to. Kaya look imba abmutay na to eh. Oh. Pero Dwight Howard yan. Baka isipin nyo, fan ako ni look imba umute. Pero okay din naman siya. Alright. So, yun nga. I-discuss lang natin kung, I guess, keys to victory. Ano bang make a case for the Houston Rockets? Of course, they're facing the defending champions, the Golden State Warriors. And odds-on favorite to win the championship yet again, no? Third championship nila in the past 4 years. Pero palagay mo, no? Aside from Chris Paul, of course, paano gagawin ng Houston to? They do have a home court. I don't know how much that will play out. Pero, kasi odds, alam mo yan. Kaya nga, what are the odds eh? Odds, alam mo yan. Even with the home court advantage, lamang na lamang pa rin tong Golden State in terms of Vegas odds. In terms of lineup, mukhang talagang angat na angat yan. They have four all-stars. Houston has 2. They do have one of the most improved player candidates in Clint Capela. And medyo mas maraming shooters in a sense. Pero ikaw, how do you see this series playing out? And of course, if you're rooting for Houston, paano nila to mapupull off?
Linawin ko lang Chris Paul fan ako. Actually, hate ko yung Rockets 2 years ago.
Bago mapunta si Chris Paul doon.
Kasi we blew the 3-1 lead ng Clippers pa siya
Tama. Yun yung binalikan niya sa interview niya eh. Shit went bad real quick eh.
Kaya Houston na.
Houston
dahil si Chris Paul. Tama.
Okay.
So yung case nakikita ko sa series na to, no? Yung defense ni Clint Capela once na switch na siya to Kevin Durant or Steph Curry. Okay. Kasi ang Houston Rockets, they switch everything eh. Sa pick and roll, mapapansin mo sa lahat ng series nung Utah, yung Minnesota, siniswitch nila para si Clint Capela lagi na switch sa point guard nung other opponent, kung kay Jeff Tigman, kay Donovan Mitchell, kay Joe Ingles, kung sino yung nagha-handle ng ball, nasa-switch siya dun sa small guy. Pero he does a great job. Kung mapapansin, hindi sila nakaka-score or nakaka-create for others. Parang nako-contain niya yung mga small guard.
So far, no? Doon sa Minnesota series, doon sa Utah na series.
Pero syempre si Curry tsaka si Durant different animal yan.
Former MVP lang naman. Former MVP lang naman.
Dalawang former MVP lang naman ang masuswitch on siya. So, very key kung kaya niya malimit, no? Kasi unlimited range si Durant and Curry eh. So, yung nagagawa niya nung past series na medyo nag-lay back siya para hindi lang parang mas dinidefend niya yung drive eh. Hindi na niya magawa ngayon yun. Kasi
kailangan talagang mag-close out siya.
Oo, kasi alam naman natin, Steph and Durant, medyo deadly yun sa 13. So, yun ang concern ko. Yan ang concern ko as a Houston fan, as a Chris Paul fan, kung gusto ko manalo ang Houston, kung gaano ka madidepensa ni Capela yung
mga switches.
Mga switches. Kasi kaya naging successful ang Houston sa past 2 series is because of that. Nako-contain niya, nalilimit niya. I think Mitchell struggled eh. Most of the struggle siya eh. Napoprotect niya yung pag nag-drive si Mitchell, di ba? Ang daming blocks niya. Tapos, nako-contest niya yung mga 3 points. Pero like I said, Curry and Durant, it's a different animal. So, kung how well he can defend them, dyan ang biggest key in my opinion.
Pero kung, let's say, okay, sabihin na natin na yun yung matchup and hindi maging effective tong si Clint Capela against whoever, kung kanino man siya mag-switch. Meron ka ba naiisip na plan B that Mike D'Antoni can go to? Maybe go to a smaller lineup, a faster lineup?
Yes. Most likely, no, kung talagang kinakain siya ni Curry and ni Durant, I would think imamatch nila yung death lineup ng Golden State where siguro they'll play baka si PJ Tucker pa mag-center niyan. I'm not sure, pero baka yun na.
Pure ano talaga?
Tucker, Ariza, panay forwards na, no? Tucker, Ariza, si Luke ang mag-ano, small forward, then Harden CP3 or I would think yun. Pero pag ginawa kasi nila yun, malaking kawalan din sa offense eh. Kaya X-factor talaga si Capela kasi si Capela sa offense naman ang nako-contribute niya kasi nasisink in niya yung defense eh.
Kailangan kasi pag nag-pick and roll, takot na mag-lob. Takot na mag-lob.
So, pag yung weak side defender, pag medyo bumaba, pumasok sa paint, kick out yun kay Tucker sa corner 3, kay Ariza corner 3. So, kung wala yung presence na yun, sa offense naman sila magsasuffer. So, tama ang Vegas. I would think talaga kung sa lineup mo lang titignan, lamang talaga.
Plus, you can argue na yung experience nila for the past 3 years, umabot sila ng finals. They have one full year together na kasama tong si Kevin Durant, right? And it's si Steph Curry, nakabalik rin. He has enough time to kahit papano go back to 100% or at least near 100% kasi kung makita natin dun sa previous series, yes, gumagawa siya pero alam mong hindi pa siya sobrang full speed eh. Hindi pa siya. So,
kahit nag-chill siya, parang ang lakas pa rin niya sobra
malakas pa rin. Isipin mo nung
20 plus minutes pa rin.
Game 1 nga, hindi na naglaro si Curry, dinurog pa rin nila yung Pelicans, diba? And people thought after the series with Portland, papalag tong New Orleans dito sa Golden State, diba? Sinasabi pa nila Kenny Smith na feel nga nila hindi daw kaya ng Warriors manalo dun sa series kung hindi babalik si Steph Curry. Pero the Golden State Warriors, pinrove nila na hindi, talagang iba eh. Elite talaga yung team nila eh. Talagang lumabas kung sino yung maano talaga, malupit talaga. Binigyan lang ng one game tapos wala na. Talaga iniwan na rin after. Anyway, going back, no. So you made the case for Clint Capela na a lot rides on how much he would be able to defend dun sa switches, pag nag-switch siya sa maliit, no? Are there any other factors or matchups na you think would be key here that would favor at least yung team mo, the Houston Rockets?
I think offensively, kung sabihin natin konting lamang, I would think lamang ang Houston. May advantage sila. They have to go against, go after Steph Curry offensively.
So kung sino yung tao ni Curry, kailangan puntahan nila yun.
Tama. I would think yung strategy ni Steve Kerr, no? He would put yung si Steph Curry sa mga corner shooters, si Trevor
itatago niya yan.
Itatago niya sa defense side. So kung marinig ako ni Mike D'Antoni, what I would do, kung ako siya, si Trevor Ariza or si PJ Tucker yung papaset ko ng screen kay Chris Paul or kay James Harden, kung sino man yung ball handler, para si Steph ang mag-switch on to CP3 or Harden. I would do that every time para lang mapagod si Curry.
Pero sayin mo si Curry na mag-switch to either Harden or Chris Paul.
Or CP3.
Okay.
In theory, isipin ng tao, hindi, parang small to small, wala kang advantage doon. Pero I would think Curry can't defend CP3 one-on-one. He can defend Harden, obviously, one-on-one. And saka ang advantage nun, if they would go after Curry, baka ma-foul trouble pa. We all know Harden, crafty siya mag-draw ng foul. So, yan ang feel ko advantage nila. Parang put pressure on Stephen Curry to defend, put pressure on him to get fouls, para maalis siya sa game, di ba?
Para at least one less problem for the Rockets to deal with.
Tama. I would do that. If ako yung coach ng Houston, I think yun yung advantage. Kasi pagpapansinin mo nung nanalo yung Cleveland sa Golden State nung 2 years ago nung championship, ginagawa ng Cleveland yun eh. They're not setting screen yung sa big guy para mag-switch. Diba yung famous last shot ni Kyrie Irving? Talagang pag nakikita niya si Curry, lumalaki yung mata niya. Diba? So, they would do is...
Tama. Yeah. Even si Ty Lue, sinabi niya na, yun yung play namin nung Kyrie hit that big three-pointer to give the Cavaliers the lead. Yun talaga yun. Kumbaga, gusto talaga nila mag-switch si Curry kay Kyrie and mag-create itong si Kyrie. So, it really goes to show na lahat ng teams, or at least sa playoffs, gusto talaga nila i-take advantage yung depensa ni Steph Curry. Lalo na kung elite yung point guard mo.
Tama. Kung malakas, kung kaya mo talaga mag-create katulad ni Harden tsaka ni CP3, I think that there's an advantage. Pero kung hindi elite ang ball handlers mo and Curry switches onto you, kung hindi na kaya niya siguro back off sa inyo, di masyado ma-expose si Curry defensively. Pero since Harden can step back, shoot the three, can drive to the hole, so parang Kyrie, di ba? Parang si Kyrie, kaya niya tumes, kaya niya
inside out. Yung unpredictable kung ano gagawin sa opensa. Yeah.
So Curry would be exposed in those situations. So I would mimic yung ginawa nung Cleveland nung finals 2 years ago. Go at Steph Curry every single time. I think yun yung advantage nila. Rather than switching, setting screen na kunyari si Capela magsiset ng screen, then ang magsiswitch is si Draymond Green or si... we all know Draymond can defend elite eh. So,
ano yan? All possessions, kaya niyang check-in.
Tama. Tapos si Durant nag-improve na rin siya defensively. So, kung ako tatanungin mo, I'd rather take my chances with Steph kaysa dun sa dalawa. Diba?
Actually, pinag-uusapan ni Maki the other day eh. Yung malamang ang ilalagay ni Steve Kerr kay Chris Paul would be si Klay Thompson. At least siya yung magiging primary defender. And then, yun nga, itatago mo tong si Steph Curry to one of the corner shooters, which would be either Trevor Ariza, the likes of PJ Tucker, maybe even Gerald Green. Best case, Luke Mbamute, yung hindi masyadong threat sa opensa. So, if that's the case, anong tawag mo dito? Anong pwedeng maging adjustment naman ng Golden State kung ganon nga, isi-switch kay Curry, isi-switch kay Curry every time? I mean, paano nila i-adjust yun? Kung ganon ka-obvious yung magiging diskarte mo, and they still pull it off, alam mo yun?
Siguro, like, nakaabang siguro si like Durant or Draymond Green for help. Siguro I would think Curry will take away the outside shot ni Chris Paul and Harden, no? I would think Warriors, kung na-switch si Curry kay Harden or kay Chris Paul, siguro gagawin nila, if force nila mag-drive si Harden or si Chris Paul, para nakaabang yung si Durant and si
para mas kumbaga, second level ng depensa, pabutin mo man lang doon.
Kasi feel ko yung Warriors naman, that's why they're the odds favorite, kasi defensively malakas din sila. They can, kung mapapansin mo, they recover well eh. So pag mabit yung isang person nila, akala mo may advantage ka, pero ang bilis nila mag-help to one another eh. So yung akala mo advantage mo na doon, paminsan nandyan, paminsan hindi. So, di ba? Hindi rin talaga like sure ball na, naman kami dyan.
Okay. So, yun, we talked about a couple of factors, no? Yung si Clint Capela and his ability to switch, and on the other point is si Curry, kung you force him to switch to either Chris Paul or James Harden para magkaroon ng advantage tong Houston Rockets. Let's talk about siguro isang factor na hindi masyadong napapag-usapan, pero I think it would play a key part, and I'm talking about yung bench play, no? Yung kasi pwede naman na natin siguro sabihin na first five, sige, lamang yung Golden State diyan, mas marami silang all-stars, no? But in reality, pwede mo rin sabihin na mag-offset lang din yan pagka dating ng substitution, first set of substitutions, or yung mga end of third quarter substitutions. Palagay mo sinong lamang dito on a bench perspective?
Sa bench, I think advantage talaga ang Houston, no? They have Eric Gordon, Gerald Green. So even I would say, well, siguro si Nene hindi masyado, parang wash na sila ni David West. I would think parang same sila ng laro eh, di ba? But Eric Gordon yung tingin kong X-factor when it comes to the bench.
Gusto ko marinig, X-factor.
Kasi he has to be big in order for Houston to have a chance, na parang he has to shoot the three well. Pag tinik away ng Golden State yon, he has proven this season na kaya niya i-drive to the hole. So yun, he has to be big for Houston to have a chance. Kung wala, kung
Harden Paul lang siya, wala, hindi obra.
Harden Paul lang, hindi kakayanin. Kailangan si Eric Gordon, kasi yan ang substitution. Kung papansinin mo yung pattern ng substitution ng Houston, laging nandiyan yung dalawa eh. It's either Chris Paul Harden, Chris Paul Gordon, Harden Gordon. Kung papansinin mo,
hindi uupo yung, I mean, parating at least dalawa doon nasa floor.
Dalawa. Kasi sila yung parang may threat na outside, tapos kaya pa salaksakin. Di katulad nila Ariza, nila Tucker,
Talagang spot up lang yung mga yan eh.
Hindi naman
very
sila
rare na sasaksak.
Sa drive nila. So, yun nga. Kasi sa Warriors, kung papansinin mo, yung bench nila, aside from Iguodala na paminsan, sina-starter nila, medyo, yun lang yung matchup nila, di ba? Pero other than that, sila Cook, sila Pachulia,
Pachulia halos di na pinapasok pero yeah, I think Iggy yung biggest threat ng Golden State in terms of bench na production or 'di ba? So kung Iguodala versus Eric Gordon in terms of production of the bench, and you are giving the edge to Houston in terms of bench production.
I would think so. Kung si Gerald Green din medyo unconscious.
Kung uminit din, kung maging streaky siya, then I guess may chance. Well, Houston naman talaga ganun eh. Kailangan naman talaga pumasok yung mga tira nila dahil fast-paced sila sobra, talagang walang konsensya, pull up tayo sa tres, wala tayong pake. Pero pag uminit, talagang mabilis din mag-roll yung Rockets eh. But if may team naman na makakasabay talaga ng putukan na talagang okay, sige, edi kami rin, magtititira tayo dito, 130, 140 points.
Yeah, pero feel ko parang may misconception na yung Houston sobrang fast-paced eh. Actually, nakalimutan ko na saan ko narinig yung stat, no? Pero yung Houston medyo this season parang middle of the pack yung pace nila eh. Ang kadalasan kasi nangyayari pag fourth quarter na sobrang ISO ball nila. Binabagalan nila as in talagang hinahayaan nila si Harden di ba? Pa-dribble, sasayaw-sayaw. It takes time eh. It takes time. So siguro may misconception lang na 8 seconds, hindi sila 8 seconds or less ngayon eh, na parang katulad ng mga Mike D'Antoni teams before na pagbaba pa lang, bato na kaagad, shoot na kaagad or what. Kung papansinin mo, ang style nila ngayon na parang feel ko lang ito analysis ko lang, hindi ko alam kung totoo or not. Pero parang sa pag pinapanood ko sila, napapansin ko yung strategy nila is, alam namin mas yung offense namin kaysa sa'yo eh. So, gagawin ko, babagalan ko, kasi alam ko yung chances ko maka-score compared sa'yo, mas malaki. Parang ganun yung style nila eh. So, feel ko may So, feel ko sa Warriors, kailangan pa niya siguro bagalan konti eh. Kasi, mismatch talaga eh. Sa talent, lugi talaga
Angat na talaga.
Lugi sila. So, yung advantage nila is parang feel ko dapat medyo i-control din nila yung pace. Di sila pwede pakipagsabay lang ng batuhan tayo ng 3 points. Kasi pag batuhan lang ng 3 points, I would take Steph, Clay, Durant any day compared to Harden, Ariza, or Tucker, di ba?
Yep.
So, lugi ka sa batuhan ng 3 eh. So, dapat gawin nila medyo pacing din para hindi maging wild yung laro. Kasi kung wild yung laro, lamang Warriors, I would think.
Okay. Alright, so, yun yung breakdown natin, or at least the things that we would like to look out for. Series starts Tuesday ng alas 9 ata, our time. Mauna pa nga yung Cleveland-Boston or 8:30. Yep, 8:30 in the morning Manila time. So, siguro last couple of questions na lang. Unang tanong ko na lang is series prediction, pare. Yung kung pwede ka magbigay ng non-bias, pwede ka rin magbigay nung halimbawang wala si Chris Paul or hindi ka fan ni Chris Paul. Pwede rin. Ano series prediction mo dito?
Sa bias ako, syempre, Houston, I would think 4-3. I would hope it would go 7 games. Houston, yun. hopefully madala
Houston
na
in 7 games. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then pwede ngang mag-play as an advantage yung home court. Dahil Game 7 would be played in Houston. And medyo hindi sanay si Golden State na nagpe-play ng Game 7 sa road. Past seasons kasi, they had the home court advantage all series long, diba? Or all season long. But this time, if it does go 7, then that would be unprecedented territory for G-State.
Tama.
And
Pero
ako din, as a fan, gusto ko rin mag 7 games to para talagang sulit na sulit eh.
Tama. Although, I would think, if it goes 7 games, I would think odds favorite pa rin ng Warriors doon. Ito sa Game 7
malamang,
lang.
Baka malamang may plus pang Houston doon sa Game 7.
Houston dyan. Oo. So, yun ang fun. Pero, if you put a gun on my head right now and you say, pumili ka kung matatalo ka, kung life or death yan, or all my money, I would say Warriors in 6.
Warriors in 6. Okay.
Warriors
in 6, pero yung bias opinion mo, Houston in 7.
Gusto ko in 7. Okay. Pero kung sa purely financial lang or
yung kumbaga thinking man bet
thinking man lang, it's hard to bet against the defending champions, especially
That's true.
how they played nung second round. Talagang, di ba? Ang hirap Durant.
Kita mo talaga. But, I guess, if may team talaga na kayang tumalo sa kanila, ito na yun. Ito na yung best chance na ma-dethrone tong Warriors.
I agree na kung manalo man ng Warriors sa Rockets, Boston without Kyrie and Hayward, walang palag.
So sinasabi mo na Celtics ang lulusot sa Eastern Conference. Hindi yun yung topic, pero nabanggit mo na rin.
I'm just saying kung Celtics man ang makalusot, tapos against Warriors, I would think the Vegas would put them like
sweep.
Maybe 8-1, 9-1 favorite. So medyo walang chance. Even if Cleveland yung pumasok, even with Kyrie nga last year, they lost So Kyrie, and they lost convincingly. 'Di ba? 4-1.
Muntik pa nga ang frustration nga daw ni Draymond Green hindi nila na-sweep
So now without Kyrie,
wala.
Everyone wala. So
actually yun yung second question ko pare, kasi a lot of people think na itong series between Golden State and Houston is virtually the NBA Finals, na whoever comes out of this series will be crowned the NBA champion regardless kung sino pa yung lumusot sa Eastern Conference. Do you agree with that assumption or yung na yun, yung prediction na yun?
Well, slightly disagree. I think kung Warriors ang manalo, medyo sure ball na yun, I would say, na manalo for the champ. Pero kung Houston ang somehow, kung
makalason.
Kung papakinggan tayo ni Lord at bibigyan tayo ng chance na makapasok ang Houston sa finals, I would think it would be interesting. I see. 100%. Even if it's Boston, even if it's Cleveland.
As long as Houston yung kalaban sa kabila, feeling mo hindi pa yun sigurado.
Like, di pa yun sure ball. And I think the odds makers would agree. Kasi the way tinitingnan ko yung mga series odds na sa online, sa mga Vegas, hindi ganun kalaki yung disparity ng Houston saka sa Cleveland.
I see.
So, I think
so kung ba, iti-tweak mo yung prediction na yun a bit, na saying na pag Golden State yan, then yes, champion na yan. Regardless. But if talagang medyo nakalason, Rockets ang lumusot, kung Cavaliers yan, kung Celtics yan, pwede pa rin. Kumbaga, mas interesting siya.
Favorite, I would think. Yung Houston would be the favorite kung makalusot sila, Celtics or the Cleveland. Pero, hindi siya like yung grabehan na talagang makikita mo pa lang sa ads wala nang pag-asa.
Wala nang tsansa. Kumbaga, suntok sa buwan.
Parang...
100 mo, tatama ng 4,000, mga ganun.
Parang ganun.
Alright, so, alright. Sige. So, any other, kumbaga, last message, kumbaga, anong gusto mong makita pa dito sa series na to? You're predicting either Houston in 7, Golden State in 6. Nabanggit mo na rin yung mga the things that you can watch out for. Is there anything else na gusto mo pang i-add dito sa equation na to ng Houston versus Golden State?
Wala na. So, I'm just hoping for a great series. Sana I'm hoping na I think important for Houston for this series na to be a great series. I think yung game 1, game 2 very crucial para sa
feeling ko nga kailangan nila makuha tong 2 games at home Kumbaga
tama
pag nakaisa yung Golden State dyan, parang feeling mo it's maglalaro ka sa Oracle. May hirapan. Kumbaga, uphill climb na yun. Yung tutong first 2 games na to. Tsaka pang-build din ng kumpiyansa na kaya tong G-State.
Totoo yan. I would think very important yung, especially game 1. I would think, especially game 1. Kasi kung natalo sila ng game 1, parang sobrang pressured ka na to win game 2. Na even, sabi mo manalo ka, parang relief lang na nanalo ka.
Yep.
Syempre, ayaw mo bigyan ng chance kasi kung Golden State wins 2-0, baka sweep na yun mangyari. Kung manakaw nila 2 home games ng Houston, baka ma-demoralize na sila. They would think na, hindi talaga natin kaya. Mahirap yun. So, I think game 1, pinaka-important. If Houston can win game 1, at least game 2, may confidence nila to say na, kaya natin to. So, yung chances nila to win game 2 increases high.
Yep.
Because the confidence pa lang nila na, okay, we can beat these guys, di ba? Yun.
Agree. Alright. So, yun, again, would like to thank Lawrence for his inputs dito sa ating Houston and Golden State series. And kayo, ano bang prediction nyo dito? Hit us sa comments, and if you would also like to have a discussion tulad ng nangyari namin dito ni Lo, then message lang kayo sa ating podcast. We'll be more than welcome to hear your own inputs din. Kung hindi man ta sa series na to, for the other Eastern Conference series naman. So, gusto ko ulit pasalamatan si Lo. Yung visa ko, pare, na lang kapag
Approve na.
Alright. Sige, that wraps up our episode. Again, this is What Are the Odds with Lawrence from Dobinons. Hopefully, I'll see you again in the finals bago tayo mag-finals. And,
hopefully, Game 5 or Game 7.
Ayan, pwede natin ulit sa sundutan ng breakdown yan dahil baka magbago rin tong mga sinasabi natin by the second, third, or fourth game. Yep.
Kung nagkakatotoo yung mga pinag-uusapan natin.
Wala lang. May masabi lang dito sa serye.
Tama.
Okay. Sige. Thanks again, Lo. And thanks again sa lahat ng mga nanood. Please do subscribe sa channel natin and share nyo na rin yung video if nagustuhan ninyo. This is, again, the Kulay Hymes Podcast, HAYMZ, signing off. Peace.
This is the Kulay Hymes Podcast.